What if the most powerful upgrade for your body wasn't a supplement, a detox, or some miracle cleanse, but the first thing you drink when you wake up? What if water, taken intentionally, consistently, every morning, became the signal that sets your entire day in motion? What actually happens when, for 30 straight mornings, the first thing entering your system is water? Before coffee, before sugar, before stimulation. Do your organs wake up differently? Does your mind come online faster? Do cravings lose their grip? Or does your body push back in unexpected ways? For the next few minutes, we're taking a guided journey from day 1 to day 30, watching what happens when hydration becomes a daily opening ritual, not a background habit. Stay close, because the payoff isn't just hydration, it's how your entire system learns to start the day clean, clear, and aligned. Days 1 to 3, the morning reset. The first 3 days don't feel dramatic. No fireworks, no instant glow, no sudden transformation that makes you text a friend. They feel quieter, like waking up in a house before anyone else stirs, where nothing is wrong, but everything feels slightly unfamiliar. You notice sounds you usually ignore, your own breathing, the way the room feels before the day claims it. Most people start their mornings the same way: alarm, groan, phone, and caffeine, rush. Your body hasn't even finished waking up and it's already being demanded from. Coffee says perform, sugar says reward yourself, notifications say react. But when water becomes the first thing, something strange happens. Your body doesn't react, it listens. Overnight, you've gone 6, 7, maybe 8 hours without fluids. You've lost water just by breathing, by existing, by sleeping. That groggy, heavy feeling in the morning, that dry mouth, that slight irritability before coffee, that's not weakness, that's dehydration. So when water arrives first, your body doesn't celebrate, it relaxes. Shoulders drop internally, systems unclench. It's like finally answering a question your system's been asking since you woke up. You might not feel it immediately, there's no applause, no rush. But inside, things begin settling. Your circulation eases, your mouth feels cleaner, your stomach feels neutral, not hungry, not full, just awake. And here's where it gets human. You notice the absence of stimulation. No flavor hit, no buzz, no emotional payoff. And for a moment, your brain doesn't love that. There may be mild fog, a sense of slowness, a temptation to rush the process and grab coffee anyway, and just to feel something. That's not withdrawal, it's habit exposure. Your body is waking up on its own without being shoved forward. And something else happens quietly. Hunger behaves differently. You don't immediately want something. You don't feel pulled towards snacks or sugar right away. Because thirst and hunger, which usually overlap, finally separate. Outwardly, nothing looks different. You still go to work. You still answer messages. You still live your life. But internally, your baseline is resetting. You start the day from neutral instead of deficit. And once that baseline shifts, the rest of the day responds. Days 4 to 7. Energy, skin, and how you show up. By day 4, you stop wondering if it's doing anything. Because the changes stop hiding, you might notice it first in the mirror, not as a glow-up, but as calmness. Your face looks less puffy in the morning. Your skin looks more even. Your eyes look clearer, like you actually slept. Not just closed your eyes. This isn't magic, it's pressure. Skin cells hold their shape better when hydration is consistent. Instead of waking up slightly collapsed, everything fills out evenly. Your face looks rested before the day even touches it. But here's the part people relate to most. Your mornings feel smoother. You're not wired, you're not dragging, you're just on. Instead of energy hitting you like a wave after coffee, it spreads out. It doesn't demand attention. It supports movement. You don't feel rushed to get going. You already are. Hydration makes your blood flow a little easier. And that matters more than people realize. Thicker blood makes your heart work harder. Smoother blood makes everything feel lighter, including effort itself. Your brain notices first, thoughts connect faster. Mental static quiets down. You don't feel like you're waking up into chaos. You feel like you're arriving before it starts. And socially, you show up differently. You're less snappy in the morning, more patient in conversations, less reactive to small annoyances. The slow driver, the email, the noise? Not because you're suddenly calmer as a person, but because your system isn't stressed before the day even starts. There's also an important rule people miss here. More isn't better. Chugging water like it's a challenge doesn't help. Sipping does. When you drink water slowly, your body integrates it instead of scrambling to compensate. No spike, no crash, no jittery false energy, just a steady baseline that carries you into the day. Quietly, reliably. By the end of week 1, you realize something subtle but powerful. Mornings don't feel like something you survive anymore. They feel like something you enter. By the time week 2 begins, something important has changed. You don't decide to drink water anymore, you expect it. Your body has learned the pattern, and bodies love patterns more than motivation ever could. The moment you wake up, there's a quiet anticipation. Not excitement, readiness, like your system knows what's coming and prepares itself. Week 2. Digestion, cravings, and daily interactions. Week 2 is where the benefits stop being internal only. They start affecting how you eat, how you move, and how you interact with people. This is when other people begin noticing, even if they can't explain why. Let's start with digestion, because this is where most people feel the difference in real life. When you hydrate first thing in the morning, your digestive system doesn't wake up confused. It wakes up supported. Instead of dumping food or caffeine into a dry system, you've already lubricated the pathway. Your stomach isn't tight. Your intestines aren't sluggish. So meals land differently. Breakfast feels lighter. Lunch doesn't sit heavy. That random midday bloating you blamed on food choices? It eases. Not because you changed what you eat, but because your system is no longer starting the day behind. Your gut isn't scrambling to catch up anymore. And here's a big human shift. Hunger becomes clearer. You're not snacky for no reason. You're not hunting for sugar at 10 a.m. You don't feel that low-grade urgency to eat something just to feel normal or focused. That's because thirst has stopped impersonating hunger. For years, your brain has been mixing the two signals. Now they separate. You eat because you're hungry. You drink because you're thirsty. That clarity alone changes your relationship with food. Eating feels intentional instead of reactive. Cravings don't disappear, but they lose volume. They don't shout, they suggest. You notice them instead of obeying them. And socially, this shows up in subtle ways. You're not as irritable when meals are delayed. You don't feel the same emotional attachment to snacks. You don't feel personally offended by hunger. You're easier to be around, especially in the morning. Your liver also appreciates the change. Overnight, blood becomes more concentrated. Morning water dilutes that stress before the day even begins. Blood sugar steadies. Energy swings soften. You don't get that sharp rise and drop feeling anymore. Instead of pushing through the day, you move with it. And that affects how you think. Conversations feel easier, decisions feel less heavy. You don't feel like every task requires effort. Your body isn't fighting background dehydration. So your mind isn't either. Week 3. Recovery, cooling, and how your body feels to live in. By week 3, morning water stops feeling like a habit. It feels like a signal your body recognizes instantly. The moment it hits your system, things line up faster. Not dramatically, efficiently. There's less negotiation inside your body, less catching up. Less quiet resistance you didn't realize was there before. This is where recovery improves. Muscles don't feel as stiff in the morning. Joints move more smoothly. That tight feeling when you first stand up? It fades faster. Hydration helps your tissues glide instead of grind. Movement feels less like effort and more like permission. And here's something most people don't realize until they feel it. Dehydration creates heat, not burning pain and simmering tension. A low-level internal friction that makes your body feel slightly on edge. Like you're always running warm, even when you're resting. Morning water turns that down. Your body cools just enough to relax. Just enough to soften its grip. That cooling changes everything. Reaction time improves. Coordination feels cleaner. You're less clumsy, less rushed, less tight. Even workouts feel different. You don't need as long to warm up. Your body meets movement halfway. Recovery feels smoother. You don't feel as beat up afterward or drained for the rest of the day. But the biggest shift? Your nervous system calms down. You stop waking up in fight or flight mode. You're not bracing for the day before it even begins. Instead of jolting into the morning, you arrive in it. Your heart rate feels steadier, you're breathing deeper, your posture easier, like your body is stacking itself correctly again. People around you notice before you do. You seem more present, less scattered, more grounded. Not because you're trying, but because your internal environment is finally supportive instead of demanding. By the end of week 3, your body isn't compensating anymore. It's cooperating. And once that cooperation becomes familiar, your system prepares for the final shift. The one that changes how you experience your own body every day. By week 4, you stop tracking the habit. You don't need reminders, you don't negotiate with yourself. Morning water is just how the day begins. And that's when the changes stop feeling separate. Your body isn't fixing things one at a time anymore, it's working as a whole. Week 4, full body alignment in real life. Week 4 feels different, not louder, not dramatic, but unmistakable. The change isn't something you announce, it's something you carry. Your mornings feel predictable in the best way. There's less uncertainty when you wake up, less guessing how the day will feel in your body. You trust the morning instead of bracing for it. You wake up and feel present faster, and not wired, not foggy, just online. Your kidneys regulate fluid and minerals more efficiently because they're no longer correcting yesterday's dehydration every morning. Your body becomes better at balancing itself without effort, like it finally trusts the rhythm you've given it. Sleep improves, not because water is a sleep aid, but because hydration supports temperature control and hormonal rhythm. You don't run as warm at night. Your body cools when it's supposed to. You fall asleep easier, you stay asleep longer. And when you wake up, you don't feel like you're climbing out of exhaustion, you feel like you actually rested, mentally and physically. Hormones respond to the consistency. Cortisol, the stress hormone, stops spiking aggressively in the morning. You're alert without being tense. Melatonin follows a more natural rhythm at night. Sleep feels restorative instead of shallow. Your mood evens out. Not forced positivity, not fake calm, just fewer emotional swings. You don't overreact to small stressors, you recover faster when things don't go as planned. And this shows up everywhere. At work, focus stretches longer. You finish tasks without that internal resistance. Productivity feels quieter, cleaner, less draining. You transition between tasks more smoothly instead of feeling mentally stuck. In conversations, you listen better. You interrupt less. You respond instead of react. You're more aware of tone, timing, and presence. Your body isn't sending distress signals, so your mind isn't either. The alignment feels subtle, but once it's there, it becomes the new standard. The mental shift. Clarity without force. This is where people realize the change isn't just physical, it's perceptual. Dehydration creates background mental noise, a subtle tension you get used to, until it's gone. The kind of noise you mistake for personality, stress, or adulthood. Hydration turns the volume down. Your thoughts feel organized, not sharper in an aggressive way, but cleaner. Your inner dialogue slows, giving ideas room to finish instead of colliding. Decisions feel simpler, not because life got easier, but because your brain isn't overloaded anymore. You don't second guess as much. You don't mentally rehearse conversations that haven't happened yet. Water supports how neurotransmitters move and communicate. Signals stop misfiring. Mental loops loosen. Anxiety softens, not erased, just quieter. Irritability fades because your nervous system isn't bracing constantly. Creativity opens up in small, surprising ways. Better phrasing, clearer ideas, easier problem solving. You feel more like yourself, not an optimized version, a settled one. And once that clarity arrives, you start noticing patterns you ignored before. How caffeine hits harder than it used to. How sugar drains you instead of helping. How certain drinks don't match how your body feels anymore. Your preferences change, not through discipline, but through feedback. Your body learns what balance feels like and doesn't want to give it up. Breaking morning liquid habits. This is the part nobody talks about. Morning drinks aren't just hydration, they're emotional rituals. Anchors to comfort, identity, and predictability. Coffee isn't just caffeine, it's reassurance. Juice isn't just sugar, it's permission. Soda isn't just flavor, it's stimulation with nostalgia attached. When water replaces them, your brain notices the absence immediately. In the early weeks, there's a quiet restlessness, a sense that something's missing, even if your body feels fine. Your hands expect a taste, your mind expects a reward. That's dopamine, the anticipation chemical, expecting its usual hit. The habit isn't physical, it's emotional memory, but by week 4 the craving loosens. Not because you fought it, but because it stopped making sense. Coffee becomes an option, not a necessity. Flavored drinks lose their emotional weight. They stop feeling like the start of something. Water stops feeling boring. It feels grounding, reliable, neutral in a way that's calming instead of empty. You're no longer chasing a feeling, you're responding to a need. That's freedom. You start your day intentionally instead of automatically, and that intention spills into other habits. Eating with awareness, moving with purpose, working with focus, resting without guilt. The morning stops owning you. You own the morning. The real 30-day reset. After 30 mornings of drinking water first, something becomes clear. You don't just feel hydrated, you feel aligned. Energy becomes predictable instead of reactive. Mood steadies without effort. Focus arrives without force or stimulation. Your body isn't compensating anymore. It's functioning the way it was designed to, responsive, coordinated, efficient. And the reset isn't about water itself. It's about what water reveals. Your true baseline, the habits that were masking it, the patterns you mistook for personality, stress, or lack of discipline. Once you feel this alignment, you can't unfeel it. Cravings lose control because your body isn't searching for balance anymore. Decisions feel intentional instead of impulsive. Mornings stop feeling like something you have to survive. Drinking water first thing isn't flashy. It doesn't trend. It doesn't promise overnight miracles or dramatic transformations, but it delivers something better: consistency. A quiet signal you send your body every morning that says, we start clean, we start calm, we start aligned. No additives, no negotiation, no stimulation chase. Just one intentional action that resets your organs, your nervous system, and your mind, all at once. And the truth is, it doesn't take 30 days to begin. It takes one morning. Wake up, drink water, pause long enough to notice how your body responds and the subtle shifts, the quiet signals. Then do it again tomorrow, because with every morning you repeat it, that signal gets stronger. Your internal compass recalibrates. Your system remembers what balance feels like and begins protecting it. Hydration stops being a habit. It becomes a tool, a reset, a quiet mastery of your own biology. Your transformation doesn't announce itself. It begins in silence. The first sip, the first morning, the first day. And after 30, you don't just feel better, you feel clear, grounded, in control. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tomorrow morning, before anything else, drink the water and notice the difference.